algorithm, stop showing me short Chinese drama clips and summaries because I am going to watch them every time, and every time I'm going to get upset that it stopped at the climax, and I'm going to go looking for the full version and then I'm going to watch it. On TikTok, I cannot scroll without getting multiple Chinese drama videos in a row, then a video or two of something else, then right back to Chinese dramas. And you know what? I watch every single one of them, then I look them up to finish them. So now my YouTube homepage is just giving me a bunch of recommendations. I mean, I'm having fun, so I can't complain too much. In this video, I do want to talk about 5 that I've watched, ranging from, you know what, terrible to really good. So if you're not really interested in anything but that, here are the timestamps for those discussions. I do totally understand just wanting to watch the section you're interested in, so no hard feelings on that. 3 of them are reborn dramas. The main character does die and returns to the past, and 2 of them are not. Just a little more fun talk here. I did take Chinese 101 as my language credit in college, and I wanted to continue on, but I moved a lot and no other school had Chinese as an option. And in 2013, when I took the class, there was not a lot of online options, so I had to pick another language. I still do remember some things from the class, not anywhere near enough to watch these without subtitles or the AI dubbing, but you know, it is neat recognizing words here and there. Anyway, what is actually very funny to me is that I am not a drama person. I actually cannot stand dramas. I am more of a comedy, action, fantasy person when it comes to movies and shows. My husband loves K-dramas and I just cannot get into them. Even ones with manhwa I enjoyed, I just couldn't watch. So it's crazy to me that I am all about these dramas. Are they even good? I think they fall into the it's so bad they're good or at least entertaining category. Some of them are good, but with these short form dramas, they are full of tropes. The exact same plot and themes are found throughout the majority of them, and plenty of them are full of triggering topics. They can also be a bit hard to find. There are plenty of apps out there to watch them on, but they are costly and some of them just are not good. I looked to sign up for one to finish a series, and when I was on the payment screen, I saw $30. I thought, oh, $30 a month isn't bad. I can do that, but no, it was $30 a week. Sure, I can do that, but you know what? I don't really want to. That's a bit crazy to go $30 each week. I also tried another one. I even paid money on it. It's one where each episode costs coins, and they had a promotion of 700 coins for $10. So I did it to finish an episode, but it did not let you watch an episode out of order. I kept trying to purchase episode 90 out of 101, and it would not let me till I purchased episode 7, 8, 9, and so on. You know, they got my $10 because I am not going to go through every single episode unlocking them. Each episode costs 52 coins each. In order to finish the series, I'd need almost 4,900 coins. I have no issue paying for the episodes, but I mean, let's be reasonable here. Because of that, I watch what I can, and of these, I'll talk about only one I couldn't find anywhere to finish the end. I do think I got close to the end. I have an assumption of how it ends, but unfortunately, I do not know for sure. In the same way that it's risky to share sites to read manga, manhwa, and light novels, I will not be sharing any links, but I will give you as much information as I can so you can go look it up so the risk of it being taken down is lower. Anyway, Betrayed Single Mother Married Passing Beggar. I tried to find the actual title, but I couldn't. This is the title of the video I saw. This is also not really the characters, but it is the thumbnail of the video I saw. This, out of all the ones I watched, was certainly the worst one. It's not so much that it was bad, it's more that it is a very juvenile story. Almost every trope was present in this one, but this is not one where the main character dies and returns to the past. The main focal characters in this one is the mother Kira, her son named Alfred, Greg Coffey, and his uncle Keith Coffey. Of course, these names are just the AI generated names. It does take me out of the show a bit hearing these Western names in these Chinese dramas, I will admit. Even the ones that are subbed, the subtitles usually do change the names to more Western names. So anyway, Kira is a single mother. She had a one-night stand, and the man that she slept with left nothing for her except a ring. She doesn't remember anything, doesn't know his name, what he looked like, or how to contact him. When the drama starts, Kira is arriving at a building with her son so she can register for marriage to Greg. Her son points out Greg is with another woman, which this is the only time you will see this woman. She does not come up again. Greg says he's accepting her son, so the least she can do is overlook him taking a mistress. Kira then sees a passing man dressed in rags and says that she will marry that man instead of him. Greg does recognize the man as his uncle Keith, who has been gone overseas for the past 5 years and who also has fallen out of favor with the family. Keith is actually the CEO of a rival company to his family, but he does keep that secret. He is pretending to be poor because he is trying to find out what really happened to his mom and find the ring that she left behind. After marriage, things continue to get bad for Kira, but Keith secretly helps her out every single time. Her parents do kick her out of the house. Keith then sells his house to her in her budget through his assistant. She's accused of stealing at work. Keith has his assistant act on his behalf to solve it and find the real thief and then promote Kira. Her new manager tries to sell her out to the president. He hides his identity from her as the president and helps her and fires the manager. The amount of people getting fired in this one is very high. This is the dynamic for the drama, and it does get more and more outrageous as things go on. For example, later in the story, Kira, Alfred, and Keith attend a family function with the Coffeys, and both Keith and Greg present the same teapot as a gift. People are accusing Keith of getting a fake one while Greg has the real one, so Keith says he can prove it and have the creator come there to differentiate them. He gets on the phone and says that the guy needs to be there within 1 minute, and within that minute, this older man with a cane just comes walking right in to review them. This is actually one of the few that I've watched where at the end, when his identity is revealed, she does not forgive him right away. She is actually very upset that he lied to her, and she rightly calls him out that he would never have told her if she didn't find out. I actually really appreciate that. Of course, at the end, very easy to figure out, Keith sees the ring that Kira has and recognizes it as his late mother's ring. She tells him that it was left behind by Alfred's real father, so they realize Keith is actually the dad. 7 out of 10. Honestly, probably too high, but it's fine. I'm sure some might remember this, but a few years ago, before AI was as big as it is now, we would see a lot of those animated videos that were like, I made a computer watch every Hallmark movie and create one of its own, and if you told me that's what this was, I would believe you. I did enjoy those videos. They were very hilarious, so you know what? I had fun with this one too. 7 Days to Farwell. This is another one that is not a dying and reborn story. I liked this one. It was very good. There were some moments that I do feel dragged on a bit longer than they should have, such as moments where the main character was being ridiculed or the begging for forgiveness. They just went on longer than I think they should have. There's 3 main focal characters in this one: the main character, her husband, and the mistress. The main character saved her future husband when he was bitten by a snake, and he instantly fell in love with her. She moves to be with him and marry him, but later loses her eyesight, saving him from being hit. A few years later, she regained her eyesight, running home excited to tell her husband, but she ends up seeing him in bed with another woman. She runs out and begins making plans to return to where she previously lived to continue studying medicine under her master. It will take 7 days for her to fully have everything settled and be able to relocate. In those 7 days, she continues to pretend to be blind while her husband and mistress flaunt their relationship in front of her, not knowing that she has regained her sight. On the 7th day, the husband is at the hospital with his mistress because she is pregnant and they are checking on the baby. While there, a doctor ends up telling him that his wife regained her sight, and he rushes home to try and beg forgiveness. She has already left, and it's a few years later that she returns. From here, it's mostly the ex-husband trying to win her back, and the mistress still trying to shame her so that way the ex-husband will stay with her. Like I said, some of the begging does go on for longer than I think it should have, and the shaming also does go on longer than it really should have as well. There are some things in this one that also could be triggering. The mistress was pregnant, and when he finds out that his wife left and the mistress is still pushing the pregnancy. He is so angry because he blames her for the wife leaving that he forces her to terminate the pregnancy, like has her held down so that the procedure can be performed. Now, I'm not making any excuses for this guy or saying that he's good in any way, but something that I really did like about his character that was different from a lot of other ones I've watched is that yes, this husband was cheating and being terrible, but he actually did love and care for his wife. So many of these dramas has the husband hating the wife, being verbally and physically abusive, but this guy actually really did care about her and was always helping her in any way he could. But of course, anytime the mistress called, he was off to her. Don't get me wrong, he's still terrible, but I like that this was a different approach than most. This is also one of the few where the main character doesn't end up with the CEO. She does end up with someone else, but it was a fellow research doctor that was also working under her master. 9 out of 10, really good one, just some moments that I do wish was shorter. A Matriarch's Rise to Power. This is the only one that I was not able to finish, not because I didn't like it. I actually really loved this one. I just couldn't finish it because I could not find the ending. I am very positive that I got very close, but this is one where I would have to purchase each episode, and the episodes were going to be 52 coins each, so it would have been really pricey, and they didn't let me purchase out of order. I did find plenty of links to videos of it, but every single video was taken down. This story is a reincarnated story, and of course, my favorite, she is reincarnated as the miserable female lead in a novel that she read. The main focal characters in this one is Quinn, the main character, Hayden, the potential next emperor that she is married to, Jordan, a servant to Quinn that has been with her and her family for many years. I hope I'm going to say this name right, but it is Yasser, brother of Hayden and a well-respected general who is now in a coma, and finally Lauren, the matriarch and grandmother to both Hayden and Yasser. When the main character wakes up in the beginning of the series, she hears voices and sees two people getting intimate. She realizes that she is now in a novel she read as a noble character, and the two people are her husband Hayden and her servant Jordan. With knowledge from the novel, she knows that her character is supposed to die, so she goes to the matriarch Lauren to let her know what's going on. Quinn, Lauren, and the other members catch Hayden and Jordan, and Quinn is able to convince Lauren to switch her marriage from Hayden to his brother Yasser. On their first night together, Quinn realizes that she is being set up with a man pretending to be her new husband, and an aphrodisiac gas is being blown into the room so that she will be caught with this man. She is able to deal with him, but due to the gas, she and her new husband become intimate, and she is so out of it, she did not realize that he woke up from his coma. The next day, he continues to pretend to be in a coma while Quinn is confronted, and that's when he realizes that this is his new wife. He continues to act like he is still out trying to figure out what Quinn's true intentions are. She continues to be accused of things leading up to where I left off, and that is she was being accused of having her husband poisoned. For the most part, she is able to prove her innocence, but when she is attacked, her husband steps in and reveals that he is awake by saving her. That is where I stopped. I have not been able to find anything past that. 9.5 out of 10. I really liked this one. This one was probably my favorite of the ones I've watched, and I am really sad that I haven't been able to finish it. Otherwise, I probably would have said 10 out of 10. If the app does a monthly subscription, I would definitely sign up so that way I could finish it, but as of right now, this is just where I'm at. I love the main character. I love that she was just not putting up with anything, and she was making plenty of plans to make sure she remains safe. If you know how this one ends, definitely tell me because I really want to know. I don't know how much longer there was of it. I felt like I was close to the end where I saw, but I could definitely be wrong. CEO steals wife's AI project for Mistress. Same as the other one, I tried finding the actual name of this one, but I couldn't find it. This is a reborn one. The main character actually died and returned to the past. Overall, this one was not bad. I actually really enjoyed this one as well. I will say in the beginning of this one, there was so much slapping at the confrontation. It was like, she slapped him, then she slapped her, then she tried to slap her, then she slapped her again, then she slapped him, then he slapped her. It just kept going. The first 40 minutes of this felt like a complete enough story. I really didn't know where the rest was going to go from there. Honestly, you probably could just watch those first 40 minutes and be done. There's honestly not too much to say about this one. The title pretty much gives away what's going on. The main character develops a sophisticated AI project, and her husband helps his mistress steal it so that way she can present it as hers because she wants her marriage with another CEO to be accepted by his father. The father doesn't like her, doesn't believe that she is good enough to marry into the family, so this is her way to show that she is. They are successful the first time around, leading to the main character's death, but she wakes up a little bit before all of that and is able to change what happens. She installs cameras around the house, and she changes her AI project in a way that only she can control it so that when she is confronted later, she has proof. She still allows them to steal it, but now they can't pass it off as the mistresses. Everything works out in her favor, and from there, it's mostly the main character trying to advance her project, while her now ex-husband and the mistress are trying to find ways to ruin her. Same thing as 7 Days to Farwell, there are some moments that just go on a little longer than they should. Of course, it's all for drama, but a lot of these moments where the other characters are tearing down the main character, when you know that she has a way to solve it, does kind of get a little tiring. It really embodies the saying, digging your own grave. The main character just lets whoever is attacking her go on, and that way they cannot come back from it. 8 out of 10. I think it could have ended much sooner than it did, but it's not a bad series. Even though I think it could have been shorter, everything that does happen does make sense. The ex-husband and the mistress lose a lot, and in an attempt to get back, they go to the next best thing they can, and that's the competitor of the CEO the mistress tried to marry. When that failed, they go to the next person up that they could try to take down this company. None of it did feel unnecessary, I just personally thought it could have been shorter. The Beggar King's Bride. This is probably the first one that I came across, and it's probably the one that most people know of. Like a Matriarch's rise to power, this is a historical fantasy where the main character dies and is reborn a few years in the past. And also, just like that one, it's really good and I definitely would recommend it. I do think I liked a Matriarch's rise to power better than this one, but this is still a very good drama. The focal characters in this one is Evelyn Sterling, the main character, Josephine Sterling, her younger sister, Adrian Montague, a member of a noble family, and Lucas Prescott, the emperor, who is pretending to not be. In the beginning, Evelyn is killed by her younger sister Josephine because she is jealous with how their life has turned out. Evelyn then wakes up in the past at the moment when she and her sister were throwing engagement balls. She ends up realizing that her sister was also reborn, and this time her sister throws the engagement ball to Adrian Montague, who Evelyn was married to in the first life. When Evelyn throws her ball, her sister bumps her, causing the ball to be caught by Lucas Prescott, who is dressed in rags and appears to be a beggar. Originally, he caught Josephine's ball in the first life and she ran away, leading her to have a very hard life. Evelyn pushes through with the marriage, agreeing to marry Lucas, causing her family to ridicule her. Lucas is, of course, the emperor in disguise, and he continues to keep that secret from Evelyn to the very end. Due to this marriage, Evelyn endures a lot of abuse from her parents and sister. Lucas does intervene as the emperor, but it takes his mother, the empress, to really save them, so he uses this excuse to bring Evelyn to the palace and convinces her that he is just a guard. The empress, on the other hand, does not yet approve of their marriage and tells him that he has to keep his identity as the emperor a secret from her until she can pass certain tests. She works as a maid at the palace, and even though she is bullied and picked on, and some harsher tests are given to her by the empress, she is able to pass all of the tests. Evelyn's family has also been punished, her parents exiled, her sister punished with labor, and Adrian under house arrest. But her sister is able to trick her way out of punishment, and she and Adrian try to frame Evelyn for trying to assassinate the empress. This does not work, of course, and Lucas is able to solve everything, revealing himself as emperor and telling Evelyn he wants her to be his empress. This is one where the main character is just abused by everyone. Everybody is targeting her for whatever reason. With her family, it's because they're upset that her marriage will not bring them any money or higher status. With her sister, it's because she's jealous. With the other maids of the palace, it's because they're jealous because she is getting preferential treatment. It definitely is formulaic, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Overall, I do think that if you're wanting to dip your toe into Chinese dramas and what they can contain, this would be a really good one to start with. 9 out of 10 would definitely recommend for sure. So that's all the dramas I have for right now. Trust me, I have watched plenty more, so if you're interested in more discussions of Chinese dramas, let me know. If you have any that are good recommendations or just want me to check out particular ones, absolutely let me know as well. I have seen plenty of comments where people were kind of having complaints with so many of these being ones with the theme of being reborn, so I definitely do want to give some recommendations that don't involve that. And I have watched a few that don't, so I probably will talk about those soon. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I know it was a long one. Check out the description for links to this model and any images used. Okay, bye.